With Arman Tsarukyan weighing in as the backup, is he getting back in the good graces with you and the?
Well, it's not about getting back in the good graces. It's about, the guy had the opportunity to fight for a title and didn't make weight. It's just, you couldn't fuck up anything worse than that. But he proved,
Dana White suspended a rising contender after a flag test turned the MMA world upside down. The moment the news broke, fans weren't just shocked, they were scrambling to figure out how a situation like this even happens in a company that claims to be tighter than ever on PEDS. Arman Tsarukyan, a contender already known for his cardio and grit, showing up with one of the wildest physique transformations anyone's seen this year. Overnight, photos of him went viral, shoulders flared, abs carved out, the kind of size jump that instantly had people talking. If you want to stay ahead of every twist in stories like this, make sure you subscribe to MMA Desk and let's dive right in the video. When a fighter starts climbing toward the top of the UFC, people watch every move, every win, and every mistake. That's exactly what happened with Arman Tsarukyan. His rise wasn't something quick or lucky. It came from years of hard training, long days on the mats, and moments where most fighters would have quit before people were talking about his body transformation or comparing him to top contenders. He was another hungry kid trying to make it in the toughest sport in the world. He fought in small shows where there were no bright lights and no real money. He had to take long trips, sleep in cheap hotels, and fight whoever they gave him. But every time he stepped into the cage, he showed something different: speed, aggression, toughness, and a level of confidence most fighters never develop. That's why, when he joined the UFC, people didn't forget him. Even in fights he didn't win, he never backed down and pushed every opponent into deep water. Little by little, fans started paying attention, and once he cracked the top rankings, everything changed. Reporters asked more questions, other fighters called him out. Fans argued about whether he was the next big thing or just another strong guy who would hit a ceiling. But no matter what people said, Arman kept showing he was improving at a rate most fighters never reach. He moved faster, hit harder, and fought smarter. That kind of rise doesn't happen for no reason, and that's what made the next part of the story even crazier for the MMA world. The moment people really started talking came when a new photo of Arman appeared online. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. Fighters post training pictures all the time, but this one looked different. His shoulders didn't just look bigger, they looked like they had been carved out of stone. His chest was thicker, his waist tighter, and every muscle on his body popped out like he was getting ready for a bodybuilding show. Fans who followed him for years noticed right away that something had changed. They wrote comments saying things like, "He looks like an action figure," or "There's no way he's making lightweight with that frame." Even casual viewers, the people who only tune in for the biggest fights, started asking what was going on. When someone transforms that fast, especially in a sport where every pound matters, people take notice. Some fans were impressed and said it was just hard work. Others joked around and said it looked too good to be natural. And then there were the fans who didn't joke. They made real accusations and claimed the transformation didn't make sense. In MMA, the line between admiration and suspicion is thin, but the debate didn't slow down Arman's momentum. If anything, it made him more popular. People shared the photos everywhere, and within hours the whole community was talking about the same thing. How did he go from strong to absolutely shredded in such a short time? That mystery pulled people deeper into his story, because when a fighter changes that much, everyone wants to know the truth. Arman gave his own explanation. He said the difference came from the kind of training he did for his next fight. He talked about how he changed his routine, added new exercises, hired smarter trainers, and pushed himself harder than before. According to him, this camp wasn't just about being in good shape, it was about reaching a new level. He worked on strength every morning, conditioning every afternoon, and technique every night. Instead of training until he burned out, he trained in a way that made each day feel like a step toward becoming a different kind of fighter. He said he started using workouts he had never tried before. He used resistance bands, new movement drills, ice baths, and even breathing exercises to control his body better. On top of that, he focused on food like never before. He ate clean every day, no junk, no distractions. Some fighters train hard but eat whatever they want. Arman flipped that. He treated his meals like part of his job. He said the training camp changed his mindset too. He stopped worrying about what people said online and started thinking only about beating whoever stood in front of him. When a fighter reaches that level of focus, their body starts to follow. But even though he explained everything, not everyone bought it. Some believed him because the details sounded honest. Others said the transformation still looked too extreme. And in a sport full of rumors, once people start doubting, they don't stop easily. Still, Arman didn't seem bothered. He kept training, kept improving, and kept posting the results. Whether people believed him or not, his body was changing, and his confidence was growing even faster. That confidence came right around the same time another story blew up across the MMA world, a well-known fighter getting suspended after a flag test. Dana White stepped in fast, and the news spread everywhere. When a fighter gets pulled for PEDS, especially when they're rising in the rankings, it shakes the sport. People start asking questions. What did they take? How long were they using it? Did it help them win fights? Fans love the drama. Fighters, coaches, and reporters start digging for details. Some defend the fighter, some attack them. And then the talk shifts to everyone else who might be next, who looks suspicious, who got bigger too fast, and who might be hiding something. That's why Arman's transformation came at such an intense time. It wasn't just that he looked bigger, it was that everyone already had PEDS on their mind because of the suspension. Even though Arman wasn't the one suspended, people connected the two stories. Anytime a fighter changes their body fast, the world asks if they crossed a line, and since another fighter had just been caught, it made every transformation feel like a clue. Some fans said the timing was suspicious, others said it was coincidence, but the debate got louder every day. And while Dana White didn't mention Arman at all, the atmosphere made every big change look suspicious. That's the problem with PEDS talk in MMA. Once it starts, it spreads to everyone. What makes all of this even more important is the timing. Arman isn't just some random fighter. He's 1 or 2 fights away from a title shot. When you're that close to the top, everything you do gets magnified. Your weight cuts get judged, your strength gets questioned, your body gets analyzed from every angle. If you look too good, people think you're cheating. If you look worse than before, people think you're getting lazy. There's no middle ground when you're close to the belt. Fans pick sides, fighters talk trash, analysts break down every video of you training. And the UFC itself pays attention, because the company needs its top contenders to be clean. A transformation like Arman's makes his next fight even more important. If he wins, he proves he deserves everything he's getting. If he loses, critics will say the transformation didn't matter. But if anything weird happens, a bad weight cut, a failed test, or even a strange performance, the rumors will explode. This is why his story matters right now, more than ever. The division is tight. The title picture is messy, and one fighter's rise or fall can change everything. Arman's transformation isn't just about how he looks, it's about what it means for the entire lightweight division. Now the story sits in a strange place. Some people believe Arman 100%. They think he's a hard worker who just had a perfect camp. Others think the transformation looks unnatural. But the truth is, nobody has proof of anything. There's no failed test, there's no suspension, there's no official accusation. All we have is a fighter who looks different, and a community that loves to talk. That's why this story feels like a mystery. It's open, it's unfinished. And everyone has their own version of what's really happening. Some say he's the future champ, some say he's crossing a line, and others don't care, they just want to see him fight. But the only opinions that matter are yours. When you watch Arman train, fight, and transform, what do you see? A fighter leveling up, or a fighter raising questions? Drop your thoughts, because this debate isn't going away anytime soon. And the moment he steps back into the cage, the world will be watching to see if the transformation leads to victory or controversy. As Arman steps closer to the biggest moments of his career, the questions surrounding him won't fade away. They'll grow louder. That's how it works in the fight game. The higher a fighter climbs, the more eyes watch every detail. Some people see his transformation as proof of insane discipline, a level of commitment only a few athletes ever reach. Others see it as a red flag and believe no one can change that fast without help. But no matter which side you're on, there's one thing everyone agrees on. His next fight is going to say more than any picture or rumor ever could. The cage has a way of revealing the truth. You can't hide behind lighting, angles, or online comments once the door closes. All that's left is performance. And how Arman performs now, with so much pressure on his shoulders and so much debate around his name, will shape the rest of his story in the UFC. Whether he becomes a champion, a cautionary tale, or something in between, we're witnessing a moment that could define an entire division. If you want to stay ahead of every twist in this story and never miss an update, make sure you subscribe to MMA Desk.